My Hero Academia, the new season, fire. Excellent. Compared to that last season, butchered. The story was good, but compared to the manga, dukage. Animation, well, this season didn't have that great of an animation difference, but did it have any goods? I don't know, man. That second intro had some optimism. It gave me some optimism. That second intro, when they were fighting Shigaraki on that second intro, it gave me some optimism because My Hero Academia is animated by Studio Bones, correct? And if I'm not mistaken, Studio Bones recently finished Mob Psycho 100, which I didn't watch the final season. I'm gonna hop on that soon. But they did Mob Psycho 100. And that shit was fucking fire. That shit was straight flames. So maybe some of that talent could be put into My Hero Academia, maybe? You know, make it look, cause that one sequence on that's just the only part of the intro that really looked good. That one sequence when they were fighting Shigaraki. That was the only part of the intro that looked good. I'm not trying to shit on it. Obviously, the show isn't ugly. It's not an ugly anime. But at the same time, it's not known for its dynamic movement, you know? The last time I remember My Hero really getting me excited outside of the movie, that second movie was fire, but outside of that, the third movie was alright. The final sequence on the third movie was alright. But as for the anime, the last time I was hyped was when Endeavor fought that high-end Nomu. That was like the last hype, you know, because after that it was just Class 1A versus the other class, and then we had the hero shit with Deku, Endeavor, Todoroki, and Bakugo. It was interesting. It was interesting, but you know, it wasn't anything crazy. And then when they had the My Villain Academia arc, which was actually interesting and actually made me give a fuck about Shigaraki, it was a sort of butchered version of what they presented to us in the manga. To the point that there's shit that happened in that arc that anime watchers don't even know happened. Lives were lost that people don't even know about in funny ways. Funny deaths happened, alright? I'll put it that way. This is one particular death that stood out to me. What the fuck is that dude's name? The dude who has the anger quirk. I don't know his name. Oh yeah, Reed Destro. He kills someone at the beginning of the arc, and it sort of makes me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's fucked up for me to laugh at that, but I found it funny, so I did laugh. But this season, oh, they went hard, because not only was the story actually interesting, but I feel like Studio Bones just took it more seriously. You know? And it was fire. I loved it. The first part, like both parts of the season were fire for once. Both parts had me on edge. Both parts, not just one. Actually, was there ever a part that, nah. Because the season with Endeavor, that was like at the end of that season, right? That was at the end of that season. That wasn't like that happened at that second part of that season. But I don't remember the second part of that season being that fire. Just the ending, because it was fucking Endeavor versus the high-end Nomu. Was that the same season with Overhaul? I might be confusing them. See, that's what happens when you drop shit. Hi, I want to offer a promotion to your channel viewers, followers, views, chatbots. The price? No, thank you. I'd rather build my brand organically. But I sort of don't trust you, my guys, so I'm gonna trust my instinct, and I'm gonna use the Hakai. Oh wait, you said doghype.com? So this is a scam. Hakai. You know? They're always coming after the small guys. Always trying to eat our asses. Get out of here. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Some weirdos. Always some trying to crawl up my ass, man. Yeah, man. So this is My Hero season. First part. The Shigaraki thing. The whole story. First of all, the story alone was already fire. Alright? Shigaraki with the all-for-one quirk was great, but I wish they stayed on him a bit longer. I wish we got to see more of him, because the way that the series is going, it doesn't look like we're going to see a lot of Shigaraki in control of that power. It looks like All For One is going to be taking over his body, which, okay, I guess. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be fucking fire. But I really wanted to see more Shigaraki using that power. I wanted to see more All For One Shigaraki. That's what I wanted to see. Another thing. But the first half was fire. A lot of death. Midnight died. Damn, tragic. You hate to see it, but that's the way it is. Now, the second part of the season was a little weird for me, because I'm not going to let it influence on how I rate the part of the season, but my expectations were not only higher, but they were pointing in a different direction. So, this version of Deku that you see on screen is called Dark Deku, but the fandom has been calling him Vigilante Deku. Now, when you give someone a title of Vigilante, that already puts something in my head, and I'm expecting Deku to really be going down a dark path. And he is! But it's not what I expected. Now, when people said Vigilante Deku, I expected him to display brutality. When he fought them, what the fuck is that dude's name with the muscles? I forgot his name. Muscles? I'm gonna call him Muscle, Muscular, yeah! When Deku fought Muscular, I was really expecting him to hurt him. You know, I was really expecting him to cause harm to this man. Not kill him, but really cause harm to this man. You know? When he fought Lady Nagant, I expected him to take the fight a bit too far. Possibly break her arm, perhaps. You know? Put her in an arm bar or something. Break her arm. I don't know. I expected more brutality. When he was up against that crowd of people before his classmates came to save him, I didn't really expect him to give a fuck about the crowd of people. Now, I didn't expect him to kill the people, but I did expect him to yeet these motherfuckers out of his way so he could get to the villain. But that isn't what happened. He was just stressed out Deku. Exhausted Deku. Right? Now, he was suffering from an issue that could have been helped if he would have been drinking Red Bull, but he wasn't. Alright? It was just Deku who was stressed out and exhausted. He wasn't going through a dark arc. It was nothing. It was boring, alright? He just looked the part, but he didn't act the part. It's just an aesthetic. It's nothing. It's just a visual representation that ultimately means nothing. You know? Maybe it does mean something. He's a target for All For One, so that ultimately makes him dangerous to be around. And maybe that's why he wanted to look scary, to keep people away from him. Huh, that is why he looks scary, isn't it? To keep people... Oh! I answered my own question. He looked scary to keep people away from him. That's pretty much all, but he wasn't really what he was portraying himself out to be. And I guess that's what I was expecting, looking from the outside in, because I knew about this Deku before this was animated. When this happened in the manga, everyone was so excited for it. But he didn't act the part, he just looked it. And I was very disappointed to not see Deku go the dark route, but maybe I'm sick in the head, right? Maybe there's something wrong with me, I don't know. Alright, the whole speech given by Uraraka was very touching though. And, you know what, it wasn't bad. I knew that this Dark Deku arc was over, right? The moment Class 1A came, because I knew he wasn't going to beat 1A. I knew he wasn't going to beat them. So I knew this Dark Deku thing was short-lived. Just 2 fights. We only got 2 fights. And he wasn't even Dark Deku anyway. He just was wearing the costume. He wasn't really Dark Deku. So, really, it was meaningless. At the end of the day, it was just a symbol of representation. It wasn't really like a different Deku. He was always the same, so that's pretty much it. But it was still a great season, right? It was still action, you know, story was still fire. Alright, for the story, the look makes sense, so, you know, still went hard, you know, still fucked with the season heavily, you know? Alright, good shit. I'm looking forward to the next season of My Hero Academia. I hope they keep it up, and they desperately need some of the Mob Psycho 100 talent on the next season if they're going to make it even better than this one. I believe that, in terms of animation, because if you guys didn't notice, My Hero Academia, not a lot of Sakuga. Not a lot of Sakuga at all. A lot of still frames. It's a good looking show, but a lot of still frames, you know? But that's pretty much it. Alright, that's enough for My Hero.